Hi everyone. In today's challenge, we are going to solve this problem. The problem name is Asteroid Collision and the problem number is 735. Alright guys, so first of all, we are going to clearly understand the problem statement. After understanding the problem statement, then we will move to the logic part. In the logic part, we are going to see how we can solve this problem, what is the logic to solve this problem. And after understanding this logic part, then we will move to the implementation part. And there we are going to implement our logic in Python, C++, Java and JavaScript programming language. Alright guys, and guys, if you want to have a look on the solution which I'm going to write in this video of Python, C++, Java and JavaScript, then I will share the link in the description. You can go through that particular link and you can find all the solution which I'm going to write in this video, right? Now guys, let's see what this problem says. So let's move to the problem understanding part. So guys, problem says we are given an array asteroids of integer representing asteroid in a row. So guys, we are given nothing but one array, right? It is clearly mentioned that we are given one array and that will have some integer value, right? So it could be to 4 negative as well, -6, -4, -8, right? Fine. For each asteroid, the absolute value represents its size. So now guys, size does not we can say affect, or it does not depend on the negative symbol, right? It does not affect with this number. So size will always going to be absolute value. So we can say even if the number is -6, size is nothing but 6 only, right? So size is always depend on the absolute value of the number. Fine. And sign represent its direction. So guys, now even this -6, so it is the size is nothing but 6 only, right? But sign here play a different role. Sign says if the number have a minus, right, number is less than 0, so it will moving to the left side, right? And if number have a plus, that means you can see +2, +4, right? So this number will moving in the right direction. So sign have a role in the moving direction, right? So if sign is negative, if number is negative, that number will be moving in the left side. If number is positive, then number is moving into the right side. And number is nothing but asteroid, right? So it is nothing but we can say asteroid. So asteroid moving to the left or right side. Fine. Each asteroid move at the same speed. Now speed of moving is going to be always same for each we can say asteroid, whether it is bigger, whether it is smaller, whether it is moving to the right side or moving to the right side, left side, right? So speed is going to be remain same. Fine. Find out the state of the asteroid after all collision. Now collision, you might don't know what is collision. Let's understand this as well. But let's see first. If two asteroids meet, the smaller one will explode. If both are same size, both will explode. Two asteroids moving in the same direction will never meet. Simple thing, guys. Let's say this is one asteroid which is having a 2, and there is one more +2, and this is nothing but we can say -6. So guys, you can see this are two asteroids. This 2 is moving to the right side. This -6 is moving to the left side. So definitely, if it is moving to the right side, it is moving to the left side. So they will we can say collide, right? There is a collision gonna occur, right? So here, which one will survive and which one will destroy, right? Which one will explode, right? So you can see if 2 is moving to the left right side and -6 is moving to the left side because it's minus. So 2 is a smaller size and 6 is bigger size. So we can see directly 2 is gonna be not survive. It's gonna be collide, right? It's gonna be explode. So 6 is gonna be survive. So we can directly say here 6 is gonna be survive. But if there is nothing but like this +6 and -6, so 6 is moving to the right section, 6 is moving to the left direction, and both have the same size, so both will explode here. None of them will gonna survive. Both will gonna explode here, right? And let's say then third more scenario. Here is 2, here is also 2, is both are positive. So 2 is also moving to the right side, this is also moving to the right side. So they will never gonna meet, right? So none of them is gonna explode. Both will gonna survive. I hope it makes sense, right? Even it is minus minus, then also we can say none of them gonna meet. So we have seen both the cases, right? Now guys, let's see with the example what we and what we need to return here. We need to return nothing but at the end how many asteroid which have been survived, which haven't exploded after doing all the collision, right? So how many asteroid which got survived? So we just need to return the number of asteroid, or we need to return their value as well, right? Fine. So now guys, you can see here. Here we have an example one asteroid. So 5, 10, and -5. So let's understand with these examples. Let me write here 5, 10, -5. So 5 is positive, 10 is positive, right? They're all gonna move into the right direction. This is 5, this is 10, and this is -5. So it is going to move in the minus, we can say uh, left direction, right? So it is -5. So guys, 5 is here, 10 is here, -5 is here. So you can see this is coming because this was later on. So this is coming and this is coming, right? So they both will gonna collide. -10 and +10 and -5 is gonna be collide. So let me show you like this. This is 10, this is -5. So 10 and -5, which is they are going to be collide. Here is collision occur, and 10 is the bigger size, so 10 is going to survive. -5 will going to be explode. So right now, rest of the asteroid, which is 5 and 10, both moving to the same direction to the right side. So none of them is going to be explode, right? So both will going to survive. So we have to return 5, 10. You can see output as well 5, 10. Simple, right? Now let's move to the second example where we have 8 -8. So you can see we have two asteroids 8 -8. 8 is moving to the this direction. Next 8 is also moving to the this direction. So both are same size, so both will gonna collide. Here definitely first of all a collision gonna occur because both have different size, and then collision occurs, then both have same size, so we can say both is gonna collide, right? Both is gonna both are gonna explode, right? So once this got explode, so we got nothing in our array, and we can say return empty array, right? I hope it makes sense as well. Now let's move to the third example, which is nothing 10, 2 and 5. 10, 2 and minus 5. So 10 move into this direction, fine. 2 move into this direction, we can say fine. Let me make it a little lower here, fine. And here minus 5. So it moved into the this direction. So you guys can see 2 is moving to this direction, minus 5 is moving to the left direction. So both having a different we can say direction. So they are definitely collision gonna occur. And 2 have a small size, 5 has a bigger size, so 2 will gonna explode. Fine, it's come here definitely like this, and here also this come here, right? So now guys, you can see minus 10 and plus 10 and minus 5 again are different size and direction different, so they definitely gonna be explosion, we can say collision gonna occur here. And now 10 is a bigger size, minus 5 is small size, so minus 5 will gonna explode. Fine, now the 10 is only left, right? So 10 is left, so it will never gonna explode, so we have to return nothing but 10 here, right? So you can see answer is nothing but 10. I hope now you understood the problem, right? I'm not saying about the logic part, how it is working, how we need to do nothing. Just simple, guys. You understood the problem, what we are given with, and what we need to return, right? So we are given one array of asteroid, and after that we need to return after the collision. We can say once the collision occur, after how many asteroid which that got survived, right? So we just need to return that number asteroid, right? So now let's see the logic part, how we can solve this problem. Now let me write a logic. Fine, let's write here logic. Alright guys, so now guys, how we can solve this problem? Did you get any idea? So one thing we can do, and we can say we can make sure that if our number is positive, right? If our number is positive, so what we can do? We can say you are not never gonna be explode, or you are not never gonna be collide, right? Until and unless you don't get a negative number, right? So even here we can say in the array we have whole have 3, 6, 9. If we have all the positive, they will never gonna collide, right? So we can make one condition here. So I'm saying in my array, if I'm getting a positive number, so put in my stack, right? So let's take a stack also. Stack will be helpful here, not an array. So let me just text stack, fine. And I'm just putting in my stack 5. 5. Then I go to one positive number, then put it again in stack, because positive number will never collide with a positive number, right? As I have decided to put a positive number in my stack, right? Now we have a minus 5, right? It is a negative number. Fine. If it is a negative number, so we are going to pop out from stack because it is a going to positive. So we are going to only pop out from stack when the top of the stack is going to be a positive, and we are going to say okay, it is positive, and we have got a negative number. So check whether this which one is going to survive. So this is minus 5, this is 10. So you can see minus 5 is going to dead, and 10 will going to survive, right? So we can say okay, remove this one. So my stack will also going to be remain same, right? I hope it makes sense. So if it is going to remain same, then what we are going to do, we are going to say fine, now let's move to the next number. But you can see in the array we do have only two numbers, so we are going to return nothing but our stack only, right? I know it's hard to understand, so let's move to the next example. There we are going to understand with third example right here. So this example we're going to teach you or we are going to help you how this particular logic going to work. Simple thing, first thing is nothing but let's take a stack. Second, we can say put a value in a stack if number is negative. Number means nothing but element which is currently we are running on this asteroid. If our asteroid having a asteroid is negative, or the second condition is nothing but we can say our that particular number, we can say stack number, so top of the stack, or we can say nothing but let's say the number if our stack is empty. Okay, if our stack is empty, if our stack is empty, or our top of the stack we can say is also negative, right? Then also we need to put, and third condition is going to be nothing but if a number is positive, right? So I know this two condition not going to match with you, so let's go through this particular example. 10, 2 and minus 5, right? So we have this example. Now in our stack we have empty, right? Currently we don't have anything in our stack, fine. So what we are going to do, we are going to say we are traversing over this our array, asteroids array. So we got first value 10, which is nothing but positive, right? So we are going to put in our stack. That makes sense. The second condition come, fine. If we have put, now second number again we are going to put in the stack until and unless we don't get a negative number, right? Because if we are getting a key positive, if we keep getting this positive number, so we'll never gonna collide, right? Now you can see in the third number we got a negative, right? Minus 5. So we are going to pop out from our top of the stack. So this is our stack. So top is nothing but 2. So we are going to check first of all if 2 is positive or negative. Yeah, 2 is positive. Fine. So collision definitely going to occur, right? So either this will gonna survive or this will gonna survive, or both will gonna explode, right? So we're gonna pop out these two. So we got to pop this two. Let me pop it. Fine, and I have -5 as well. So I can see if I add it, so what I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get -3. So which means nothing but minus term is heavier than the positive term, right? Which means nothing but this number is bigger than the our top of the stack. Fine, if it is the case, so what we are going to do? We are going to say fine, this remove collide or this explode 2 and 3 will still there, right? Means 3 not we can say 5. So 5 has collide this 2, right? So 2 has been gone. Now 5 will fight with the 10. So 10 will come out and 5 will fight with 10, and 10 minus 5 is nothing but 5 positive, right? That means 10 was bigger than the top, we can say this particular number, right? -5. So now if it is the case, that means 10 will gonna survive, 5 will gonna remove. So once 5 is gonna, we can say remove, or we can say 5 will gonna explode, then we are gonna stop it, right? So here we are gonna say, okay, if this is the case, then you can stop it and you can say move ahead. But there is no more number present, so we can say, all right. So if it is not the case, then return this number only 10. So simple thing, guys. What we are doing, we are keep putting in our stack the positive value. If we are getting a negative value, so we are just nothing but putting taking from top of the stack, and we are checking if number is first of all number should be positive. If number is positive, then just check which will gonna survive. So here we can see the first case 2 was there. So 2 minus 5 nothing but -3. That means this will gonna explode and -5 will gonna survive. So if it is the case, still minus term is getting heavier or bigger, then we are going to take another number from stack, and that we are going to see until and unless we don't get either our top of the stack survive or our stack is empty. Then we are going to put, if our stack is going to empty, then we are going to put -5 in our stack, and if it is not the case, then we are not going to put anything in our stack, right? I hope it makes sense. So now let's move to the implementation part. Then we are going to, there we are going to see how we can do this particular in implementation, right? I know it's hard to understand with the example because there are no bigger example we could get. There was just a smaller tool, 10 to 5 3 length of size. But in the implementation part, you will definitely understand what are the different scenario can be happen in this problem, right? So let's move to the implementation part, and there we are going to see. So guys, first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to say finally what we can do. First of all, I'm with the Python, right? So first of all, we are going to check. Uh, let's make a stack nothing but empty for value, or we can say for asteroid in asteroids. And here we're going to say while our stack is exist, right? While our stack has at least one element, and stack of -1 means top of the stack is greater than 0, and this asteroid should be negative, right? That is what our condition, right? If it is the case, then only what we are going to do, we are going to say fine. Now check the collision, right? Collision is going to be nothing but stack plus, we can say stack plus, what we are going to do then, not stack, we can say stack -1. This is nothing but top of the stack plus, we can say nothing but a. So this will tell whether which one is nothing but the heavier one, whichever in the bigger size, right? A or stack of -1. So if our collision is greater than or we can say equal to 0, right? If our collision equal to 0, that means both are same size, so both will gonna explode, right? So we are gonna say directly stack dot pop, and you are gonna explode it. Fine, so we can say directly break it. But if we can say else if, right, and collision is smaller than 0, that means negative term was bigger, right? That means our asteroid is bigger. So if it is the case, so we have to pop this two, we have seen in the logic part, and take a new from the top of the stack, right? So we can say stack dot pop this one, next time take a new number, right? Fine, and then we are going to say fine else condition. Here we're going to say that means collision is greater than 0, right? It is not equal to 0, it is not less than 0, it means it is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, then directly you have to break it, right? So we don't want to take this negative number. We have already, it has already been explored, and top of the stack will remain same because it was bigger. Fine, and in the else condition here we are going to say stack dot append this a. Fine, now we are going to say return our stack. So simple thing, let's run this code. And guys, here else means nothing but if you are getting here, we haven't used if condition, why we are using else. So else is using with the while loop, right? So what happening here, if while loop is not going to break, then this else condition going to work. I hope you're getting it. That means nothing but we can say once either our stack is empty, or we can say either our stack is empty, or we can say this condition is keep matching. That is nothing but stack dot go. When we are doing, when our negative term is bigger than that, right? So this will only occur whenever either stack is empty, or we can say nothing but that top of the stack is negative, right? So then only this condition works. So we are going to append this particular a over there. Fine. Now let's see submit this code as well. So when a simple term, whenever we are not using a break statement, then only this else condition will work, right? That thing you can easily get, right? Now let's move to the next programming language, which is nothing but we can say C++. And here guys, we are going to say our stack initially. and int stack s, and we are going to say now for int asteroid in this astrio, all right. Okay, and here we're going to say check first of all while s while node s dot empty, and we can say s dot top should be greater than equal to 0, and we can say s dot not s, we can say a should be less than 0, right? Then only we want to check it, right? If our number stored is negative, otherwise if it is positive, that you can keep pushing in our stack. So we can say directly come to this particular one. Let me just go to this particular one, and here I'm going to define one condition. So boolean, and boolean status is nothing but equal to, we can say initially we can say true, right? Fine, if it is true, come to this condition. Here we're going to check int collision is going to be nothing but we can say s dot o plus a, and if collision is equal to 0, that means both gonna explode. So if both gonna explode, so we're going to say status is false, and we can say s dot pop, and we can say directly break it. But else if collision is greater, or we can say collision less than 0, if it is less than 0, that means negative term is bigger, asteroid is bigger, so we can say our top of the stack is going to explode, so we can say s dot pop, explode that one, and not break it, move to the next top of the stack. But if it is also not the case, then our this asteroid is going to explode only. So let me just do like this, s dot s will going to remain same, just we have to break this condition. That means we are not going to put this particular asteroid in our stack, so we can say status is going to be false. False. And here we're going to check if status is still true, then only you have to push in your s dot push this particular stack or asteroid, right? Fine. And fine, here we are going to return nothing but our result. So result is going to be nothing but we can say vector in result, which is going to be have a size nothing but stack asteroid size. Fine, and here we are going to say for int I is equal to s result dot size, not size, yeah, we can use size -1, I greater than equal to 0, I minus minus. So we are going to say result of I should be equal to nothing but we can say s dot pop, right? So what I'm doing here, just I'm just here nothing but we have done nothing but we are having a one stack right now, and then we have to return that, but stack will always come in a leaf order, last in first order, but we need to return in a serial order, right? Means whatever the order we have in our array, right? So for that we need to just reverse that particular stack. So for instead of doing that, I'm just taking in the reverse order, right? So it's saying that empty and s dot top is greater than 0, is less than 0, so there is no method s dot empty, empty, right? Now it's gonna work. Let's see. And one more thing, s dot pop, right? All right, pop is not gonna give anything, pop is gonna give something, and pop is just we need to return it, right? Now let's see. Simple thing, guys. If at the end of a stack is nothing but like this 2 3 2 4 6 8, so we can't return like that, right? We have to return in 8 6 4 2, right? This way. So this way we are doing by using this simple loop, right? Now let's try to submit this code and see whether it's working fine or no. And it will also gonna submit. You can see, guys, it successfully got submitted. Now let's move to the Java programming language first of all. And here, guys, first of all we are gonna say stack, and stack is gonna be nothing but integer. So let's write a stack integer stac new stack. Fine. And here what we are gonna do, we are gonna say fine traverse over this asteroids array int a asteroids, and here we are going to say it, all right. So now first of all we are going to define boolean value status false, not false, we can say true. Fine, now we are going to say while our stack is not empty, all right, and we can say our stack is not empty, and last thing in nothing but we can say stack of we can use a peak is greater than equal to 0, and also we can say state is also less than 0, then only we have to check this condition. So we are going to say collision, then only collision going to happen. If collision definitely going to happen, so we can say stack dot peak plus we can use our a, right? And if our collision is equal to 0, that means both going to explode, so we are going to remove that from the top of the stack as well, stack dot pop. Fine. And if it is not the case, so what we are going to do, we are going to say first of all let's make a stack state is equal to false, because top of the stack is also explode and the asteroid is also auto explode, so we can say break it. Else we are going to say else if collision is less than 0, right? That means our state is bigger than the top of the stack. So top of the stack is going to explode. So we can say stack.pop and state is going to be equal to false. And we don't have to do status fast because we are going to take a new top of the stack. Until unless that is not met with the condition, we have to keep going, right? Fine. Else we are going to say fine. State you have to just make status is equal to false because here the state is going to explode because our top of the stack was bigger. So status is equal to false, and then you have to break it, right? Fine. And in this while loop, once this while loop over, so we are going to say fine. If our strategy is still true, then you can say stack dot push. What you are going to push? You are going to push this as. After that, you have to return stack, but you can't return stack. You have to return an integer. So let's create a result array. We can say now here we're going to say size is going to be nothing but new in stack dot size. Fine. And here again we are going to say for int is equal to stack dot stack result dot length -1 I greater than equal to 0 I minus 1. And here we are going to say result of I is going to be nothing but stack dot oh, right. So here we're going to return result. Now let's see. Alright, let's see whether it's working fine or not. You can see guys it's pass all the test case. So let's try to submit this code as well. Now let's move to the last program language, which is nothing but JavaScript. So it's code submitted. Now let's move to the JavaScript, and here we are gonna say first of all let's define our stack. So stack is nothing but let's create an array only, and here we are gonna say fine. We are going to traverse on this asteroid array for const a of asteroids, and we are going to say fine here. First of all, let's define a bool value. So we can say let status is equal to false, not false. We can say true, and while we can say stack dot length and stack of stack dot length -1. This is nothing but top of the stack. If it is greater than n equal to 0, and also one condition if stack, let me just write a stack. Notice that we can say asteroid is less than 0, right? So if these three conditions satisfy, then move to this condition. And here we are going to see if let's first of all take collision, which going to be nothing but we can say our stack of length -1 plus our asteroid, right? So this condition going to be like this. Then we are going to check if collision here we are going to say if collision equal to 0, just means both gonna explode. So both gonna explode, so we have to remove from stack as well stack.pop and status is equal to false. That means we don't gonna insert this asteroid as well. So if we are not gonna insert it, then means we are gonna break it as well. Fine. Else if collision is smaller than 0, that means only the top of the stack explode, means the asteroid was bigger. So we can say if top of the stack explodes, so remove the top of the stack. Okay, and just continue this row, right? Fine. Now the last condition we can say here. Okay, here we can say stack dot here, that means that the top of the stack was bigger but asteroid was smaller, so asteroid is got explode. Fine, we don't need to insert in our stack then, so we can say status is equal to false, and we can say break. So here in the while loop we are going to check if status is equal to false or anything else, so don't do. If status is equal to true, then only you have to insert it. So you can say status is equal to true, then you have to say stack dot push your number, that is nothing but we can say what we are going to return here, stack dot push that particular asteroid, right? After that we are going to say fine. After this for loop you can simply return your stack, right? Now let's run this code, and I hope guys it will also going to pass all the test case. You can see it pass all the test case. So let's try to submit this code as well, and definitely it will also going to submit it. So you can see guys it successfully got submitted. So we have done the implementation with the Python, C++, Java and JavaScript. I hope you understood this implementation part as well. And guys, if you have any kind of doubt in the problem understanding part, logic part, or implementation part, you can write in the comment section. I'm always there to help you. So if you learned something in this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe my channel. Meet you in the next video.